I don't need a friend who changes when I change and who nods when I nod, my shadow does that much better. The mind is not a vessel to be filled but a fire to be kindled. An imbalance between rich and poor is the oldest and most fatal ailment of all republics. Know how to listen, and you will profit even from those who talk badly. The measure of a man is the way he bears up under misfortune. The real destroyer of the liberties of the people is he who spreads among them bounties, donations and benefits. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. For the wise man, every day is a festival. Our senses, through ignorance of reality, falsely tell us that what appears to be, is. Fear equals false evidence appearing real. There are two sentences inscribed upon the ancient oracle. Know thyself and nothing too much, and upon these all other precepts depend. The richest soil, if uncultivated, produces the rankest weeds. The whole of life is but a moment of time. It is our duty, therefore, to use it, not to misuse it. Time is the wisest of all counselors. God is the brave man's hope, and not the coward's excuse. To make no mistakes is not in the power of man, but from their errors and mistakes the wise and good learn wisdom for the future. The poor go to war, to fight and die for the delights, riches, and superfluities of others. If you hate your enemies, you will contract such a vicious habit of mind that it will break out upon those who are your friends, or those who are indifferent to you. To find fault is easy, to do better may be difficult. When Demaratus was asked whether he held his tongue because he was a fool or for want of words, he replied, "A fool cannot hold his tongue." It is a true proverb, that if you live with a lame man, you will learn to limp. The omission of good is no less reprehensible than the commission of evil. The drop hollows out the stone not by strength, but by constant falling. Philosophy finds talkativeness a disease very difficult and hard to cure. For its remedy, conversation, requires hearers, but talkative people hear nobody, for they are ever prating. And the first evil this inability to keep silence produces is an inability to listen. No beast is more savage than man when possessed with power answerable to his rage. For the mind does not require filling like a bottle, but rather, like wood, it only requires kindling to create in it an impulse to think independently and an ardent desire for the truth. Nothing is harder to direct than a man in prosperity, nothing more easily managed than one is adversity. As bees extract honey from thyme, the strongest and driest of herbs, so sensible men often get advantage and profit from the most awkward circumstances. Nothing can produce so great a serenity of life as a mind free from guilt and kept untainted, not only from actions, but purposes that are wicked. By this means the soul will be not only unpolluted but also undisturbed. The fountain will run clear and unsullied. When Anaxagoras was told of the death of his son, he only said, "I knew he was mortal." So we in all casualties of life should say, "I knew my riches were uncertain, that my friend was but a man." Such considerations would soon pacify us, because all our troubles proceed from their being unexpected. Do not speak of your happiness to one less fortunate than yourself. The flatterer's object is to please in everything he does, whereas the true friend always does what is right, and so often gives pleasure, often pain, not wishing the latter, but not shunning it either, if he deems it best. Poverty is dishonorable, not in itself, But when it is a proof of laziness, intemperance, luxury, and carelessness, whereas in a person that is temperate, industrious, just and valiant, and who uses all his virtues for the public good, it shows a great and lofty mind. The state of life is most happy where superfluities are not required and necessities are not wanting. Oh, what a world full of pain we create, for a little taste upon the tongue. It is a high distinction for a homely woman to be loved for her character rather than for beauty. If we traverse the world, it is possible to find cities without walls, without letters, without kings, without wealth, without coin, without schools and theaters, but a city without a temple, or that practiseth not worship, prayer, and the like, no one ever saw. A good man will take care of his horses and dogs, not only while they are young, but when old and past service. Courage stands halfway between cowardice and rashness, one of which is a lack, the other an excessive courage. It is no disgrace not to be able to do everything, but to undertake, or pretend to do, what you are not made for, is not only shameful, but extremely troublesome and vexatious.